Hi, this is Tom Jacobs from tdjacobs.com. I'm an evolutionary astrologer and an energy worker, a channel, a medium. I do all kinds of things. At tdjacobs.com, you'll find a bunch of resources to help you along your healing journey or raising your level of consciousness or learning astrology or all kinds of things, including the program crystals. And this video tonight is about the energetically programmed crystals. This is specifically about pink opal and also amethyst, both of which I have put the energy of St Germain, the Ascended Master, who is the keeper of the violet flame of forgiveness. I put that energy into them for opening the heart. So they're both associated with the heart chakra. And I'm going to talk about the importance of using such crystals for opening the heart. I'm going to talk about who St Germain is and what he wants, what he has to offer. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about what forgiveness is and isn't to kind of tie it all together. So it's about the crystals, but it's really about this thing that confronts us and how the crystals may help. So I do also want to point out my other website, aside from tdjacobs.com, is healingsuicide.com. So these two crystals, as far as opening the heart and learning to move through energy and emotion, they're very relevant for the message and the mission of that website as well. On that site, I talk about what soul is, its multi-life journey, how it understands its own human life, and how to understand the effect of suicide on the multi-life journey, but also how to deal with the kinds of emotions, the kinds of despair and anger and depressiveness and depression and anxiety and feeling trapped, how to deal with those emotions. And I would say that's really what the focus of this video is about today. So first of all, St. Germain is an ascended master. Many people in metaphysical circles may be familiar with him. He's a very popular ascended master, and I just want to point out he is one face of the being that I often channel, whom I call Jehuti, spelled D-J-E-H-U-T-Y, Jehuti. That's his Chem or Egyptian name, ancient Chem name, but he's also known as Thoth. Hermes, he's the Hermes figure in all mythologies, the mercurial figure, translator, messenger, teacher. And he's in all cultures all over the earth timeline. He's kind of got his fingers in everybody's pies, and his job is to, or its job, he talks about himself as he'll say, you know, he will encourage me to say he, but it doesn't matter. There's no real gender. He just comes through and so anyway, this level of consciousness, this soul that's here to help us, its job is to help us evolve no matter what we need. So here on YouTube and on my site, you'll find a bunch of examples, and also I've done 6 channeled books bringing messages through from this level of consciousness. They're on Amazon and Kindle and tdjacobs.com. And you can find a lot of different messages. And I've done 2 longer, maybe hour-long channeled messages here on YouTube over the last few months, where I videotape myself typing, creating the Word document, so you can read along and get a sense of the rhythm and connect to this frequency. But basically, whatever we need to learn in order to evolve as spiritual beings is what this being will hold space for and help us learn. So we ask questions, Jehuti or St. Germain answers. In the Jehuti and Thoth Hermes kind of frequency, that level of persona, that face of the being, those faces of the being, it teaches, it explains, it lectures, it answers questions. It does this kind of Socratic dialogue that can be very annoying because it can lead you into understanding a truth as well as just teaching or explaining something to you. When the being comes through as St. Germain, there is a heart-centered energy because as I said, excuse me, getting over being sick, this being said to be the keeper of the violet flame of forgiveness. So I want to just tell you now a little about what that is. Essentially, it is this kind of prototypical love energy that every human already has within him or herself and can access. This is the heart-centered love energy where we forgive something, we cry through things, we let go of pain and hurt and anger and a sense of we are other, right? Sense of otherness regarding others and defensiveness. So the violet flame of forgiveness is available to everybody. You can call on St. Germain, and using either the amethyst or the pink opal, you can call on St. Germain to do this. But the thing is, I mean, you can do it without the crystals, but with the crystals, there's an energetic pulse from the crystal coming into your body that can open this up, to open the heart. So what St. Germain will do is not forgive you, will not make something better. And that's why it's like said to be the guardian or the keeper of the flame. When you get that flame brought to you or you open up to receive it, you are presented with the opportunity to let something go. This can be extremely challenging because certain parts of your identity, your egoic personality, may not want to let go because of the identity derived from pain. Well, you know, this happened to me when I was a kid, and that's why I'm the way I am. Or, you know, we might not know how to deal with pain, so we kind of project responsibility on someone else or something that happened that seems to cause the pain, not understanding that we have the power to release ourselves through the fourth chakra into freedom from that pain. So we may project it on others or hold others accountable because it may be very obvious that somebody betrayed us or abused us, lied, used, manipulated, whatever. It's very obvious it's another person. One of the messages from this being, you know, I refer to as St. Germain or Jehudian Thoth, is that you have the opportunity, you as a human have the opportunity at any time to learn to become the source of love for yourself. And the violet flame is a tool in that journey. So, for example, amethyst, obviously they are violet. So they hold the energy, they hold this St. Germain's heart opening energy in a certain way. This is a quartzy kind of thing. And then the pink opal, opal is a different kind of thing, and it's not nearly as hard. It holds the energy in a different way. I'll show you some other examples as I go. But I just want to point out, it's the same heart-opening, loving frequency in each stone. But again, just like when the violet flame comes to you, you have with the stone, you have the opportunity to allow this to come in. Sometimes over the years, as I've produced pink opal pieces on the grinding wheel, you know, cutting and grinding in my garage, it's really hard to work with because I'm not in a forgiving place. And they break me down. Just handling them, my energy goes into them. You know, say like I used to do like 10 or 11 in a week. There's different phases of the grinding process, cutting. Most of it's called cutting until you get to the final stage of polishing, you're cutting. Even though we would look at it as a grinding wheel if we're not familiar with that idea. So in most of the cutting phases, like if I go to the garage, which is what I used to do when I had my workshop going, I might go there to work on crystals and cut, you know, against the wheel and make them shiny and beautiful in order to kind of have a little meditation time where I can process something. Well, let's say I'm frustrated or angry about something. I go to the garage and this is what's on my to-do list. That can be really hard because I don't want to submit to letting something go because I'm not done processing it. In other words, my attachment to my identity related to that emotion may not yet be complete. So be aware, it's about the opportunity for you to evaluate what you're identified with. I'm sure you've been in this position, you've seen other people, it might be easier to see it in other people, but I'm sure you've been in this position too where it becomes apparent that a person is really holding on to something in an unhealthy way, and everything could be better if he or she just let go of it. When you see it in others, you might feel compassion. You might feel annoyance that the person is creating suffering that's making your life harder perpetually or chronically. But if it's you, it might be harder to see it because in that moment you are filled with the emotion and there's an identity associated with it. Again, I was hurt, I am hurt, whatever. And that can be with guilt and shame and all kinds of different difficult energies and emotions that we get stuck on and within. It's not just anger or whatever, but okay. So, and anger and pain, it's all the different frequencies of fear-based energies where we've felt hurt, and then anger can come. So Saint Germain essentially holds space for you to see you already possess the divine power to let something go, to forgive yourself, to forgive others. That's kind of the core mission of this being. This heart-centered thing is really powerful when you surrender to it. But what has to happen when you surrender to it is the emotion must come out. As I've told people for years, and I've told even in a Pink Opal video from several years ago here on YouTube, and I talk about the importance of dealing with difficult emotions. When you open your heart on a consistent basis, you intend, and the meditation on my website has you running energy from the crown and the root up to the heart, and then breathing out through the heart to open it. When you do that, you will encounter from the inside, you'll feel whatever has been stuck there. So it's incredibly important to move through things, which means not talking about it, but feeling it and letting the waves of this tension and difficulty break. Emotions are waves that are trying to break. If we stifle them, that's when they get stuck. And if we have beliefs that make us stifle them, then we get caught up in these patterns and loops that keep us from moving through things. I'm having this kind of profound experience now. I'll just tell you a little bit about it because it's a new way of experiencing this stuff. I have received a couple of emotional clearing healing sessions associated with the emotion code and body code. I haven't talked about it yet, but I've just been exposed to that recently, and I've experienced it. And in that system, the practitioner will connect to your unconscious or subconscious, and will identify through particular means what is stuck. Is there an emotion here that's stuck? And they'll get confirmation if yes, and then they'll clear it. Well, in the way I work with things, I almost can't imagine clearing something without processing it, meaning emoting. And what's been happening is, and with my girlfriend, she's been doing it, and she seems to be free of something when she works on it. I cry for days. I'm not actually free of it. The memory comes up, the thought comes up, and then I'm crying, and then like a day or two later, I feel better. But there's this moving out of energy. And what I'm finding now, this one particular other life scenario that became apparent 2 months ago when I moved from Arizona to Oregon. And I'm not going to go into the details, but basically it's like the definition of disempowerment. And it's been with me my whole life, but I've just recently become aware of that sub-persona so I can start to differentiate who I really am from this person's experience. And so that, like what ends up happening is I'm living my life, I'm doing my work, I'm doing whatever, and then I walk into the bedroom, I lie down, and suddenly this person starts crying. And it's just like, sometimes it's like for half an hour at a time, and it's almost every night. One day I woke up and felt totally free from it, but then later that night it came right back. I walked in the bedroom, I laid down to the bed, and like, the same thing started happening again. It's not loud and dramatic, but it's like, well, actually, when my girlfriend puts her hand on my back, on my fourth chakra, then it gets really loud because it somehow, brings it out more. But if she didn't do that, in the times when she hasn't, like when she's asleep or paying attention to her own thing, and she knows I just need my own time, then it doesn't get worse. But anyway, there's this like thing that's ongoingly releasing. So when we talk about the violet flame of forgiveness, we talk about the amethyst and also the pink opal. I have these beads, which I am completely expletiving in love with. They don't look pinkish in this light. Well, they look weird in this light, but I also look like too pink. But anyway, strands of beads. These are 10 millimeter beads, about 15 inches of a strand. And then these are 8 millimeter beads, same length, so more beads on the smaller one. Anyway, they all have the same energy in them, and regardless of which we're talking about, the amethyst or the pink opal, you're confronted with the opportunity to let go. And once you say, yes, I'm willing to let go, then that part of you who holds that thing from this life or another life can express if you're willing to let it. So you are already the divine. You have the capacity to be and become and live, the source, live as the source of love for yourself. You have the ability to forgive everything and anything. And you have the option of embracing that, which means letting go of some of these other identities of someone who's been hurt. So I find great benefit from working with these crystals. And sometimes when I go to gem shows and people come across the room because of the pink opal in the center of I organize the things by lower chakras to upper. And the fourth chakra, of course, is in the center of the table. And this like bowl of pink stones, it's a wooden bowl full of pink stones. And people are drawn from across the room toward them because we need that softening. We need that opening. We crave forgiveness and healing. We want to be connected to that sweet level of divine love that parts of us think we don't have. We're pretty sure we don't have access to because we're identifying as hurt or whatever, or worthy of judgment or shame or not worthy of love. They'll walk over and they'll say, "What is that?" And I say, that is pink opal. And it's for opening the heart to release old emotions, to be free of the pain from the past. And I'm not kidding. I'd say 80%, 85% of people say, "Oh, no, I don't need that." Because we're afraid to give in to unhappiness and get lost in our sorrows and our self-judgment. And I think that some of us are afraid of finding out that we really do deserve punishment, that we, in fact, don't deserve love and support. So this whole teaching with the pink opal is, and also with the amethyst to a degree, is that you could become the source of love for yourself. You can. You always have that option. I admit that I have been very, how do you say it? What's the right word? I've been a little discouraged and peeved. I've been peeved when most people do that. When I go to expos and gem shows and sell these crystals and program stones, it's really annoying because the teaching is, in order to have sanity, you have to move through your emotions. Why aren't you willing to deal with them? You can be free of that thing from your childhood. You can be free from that other life pain. You can do it. Are you willing to let that wave break? What happens after a wave breaks? The energy dissipates. That's what's waiting for you. But if you keep it at 60 to 80, 90% intensity under a lid, it can't ever break. It's just pounding up from the surface and you're suffering. What I'm saying is these crystals and stones are fabulous for inspiring the crying that will relieve the tension and allow the wave to break. So as I worked on these, when I'm processing something and they're too much and I'm crying, I'm weeping, the pink opal, from my experience, pulls emotion out of me. And sometimes it's frustration first and then it relieves in the wall or the wave of tears. And sometimes it's just sadness and sorrow and tears. But we have to know everything is temporary. So I want to explain a little difference between these two, since they're both with St. Germain's heart-opening, forgiveness energy, but they're very different kinds of materials. Now, mostly over the years, my pink opal has been from Australia, and that's kind of what this looks like. It's a little salmon-like, and I have at least some rough spots when I make them by hand. And this tumbled piece I held up, you can see the salmon-like waves or lines. And this is a tumbled piece I have, and most of what I've done over the years, actually everything so far, has been from Western Australia. This was discovered in 2011 outside of Perth by a miner who lives there and makes his living doing mining things with his son. And I met him and saw his stuff at the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show several years ago, and could buy it in bulk. It was pretty an amazing thing because the stuff is so beautiful and amazing, but it's very different in texture. You can kind of see, well, there's a little sticker, but you can kind of see, little rough spots and shiny parts. But it's different in vibration a little bit and quality of energy with this stuff that's from South America. So Andean pink opal, we're probably from Peru. And that's what this is. There's a lot more color variation in here. There's like dark spots, and some of it looks just the slightest pink, almost white. Let me just give you another example from the little beads here. You can see that. So it's a little different material. It seems to me a little sturdier actually, because the stuff from Australia is kind of chalky. And it's really susceptible to being broken if you drop it. And you can't feel this through the video, but this is super lightweight. It's almost like a wafer. It's almost like a little, little wafer. Even like the thicker, denser one, it's not that dense. So it's really kind of a soft opal, and that's the kind of idea with opal. This is not fancy opal, which is the remnants of minerals and water trapped in this vacuum, and then the brilliant colors. This is a common opal. That's fancy opal. This is a common opal. But anyway, the stuff from South America seems a little different. And there are some of these colored inclusions on 2 out of the 3 pieces that I have. This other one that doesn't have any of those color inclusions is just like the sweetest little pink thing. It's almost translucent. These are pretty thin. Great pocket pieces to keep connected to the energy. They're easy to sleep with. If you woke up and this is under you, it's not uncomfortable. Unlike, like this thing with the weird shape. But anyway, so with pink opal, my experience has been that it will unavoidably, inescapably, slowly, but inescapably pull stuff to the surface that I need to resolve. So I have told people, many people, and I stand by this, that pink opal is the most powerful crystal that I offer. That might seem weird to people who are familiar with moldavite and auralite 23, and now the K2 that I offer, and I'm still at my desk, like all the other things that I offer, because there's a lot of high vibration stuff that I offer. But pink opal has been the most important and the most powerful because it disarms the defenses and gets one in touch with whatever unresolved emotional thing from this life or other lifetimes that needs resolving. So this is extremely important. If you're not free of your emotional garbage, it will dominate your life and control your choices, and you will be unhappy, and you will hold on to those negative self-images based in the person who's been hurt or who has made a choice that hurt others that you might judge yourself for. So that's the pink opal. It will unavoidably but slowly and gradually pull to the surface a thing that needs cried out. So it is not sudden, typically. Now, on the other hand, let me get these out of the little baggie they're in. On the other hand, the amethyst, and amethyst is really prevalent on the Earth's surface. Amethyst is really commonly found in a lot of places. If you look up where it is, it's all over the world. It's in a lot of places. This particular amethyst is from Madagascar. It's just my source is a family-owned mine that headquartered in Tucson that has 2 locations in Madagascar. But anyway, amethyst, and I also do auralite 23, which is mostly amethyst but has metallic inclusions. You can see this like dirty looking thing here at the end. Anyway, so this is not auralite 23, it's amethyst. And this is a quartzy, right? Very obviously more quartz-like, right? You can kind of see that light through there. And when I first put St. Germain's energy in these several months ago, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, it was kind of guided to do it. I was at the store in Tucson before I moved, and I was just pulled to them, and I felt when I looked up on my phone, like, what is amethyst about? And then I just really got this hit to put St. Germain's sweet heart-opening energy in. So when I did that, like I said, when I pick up pink opal, stuff gently comes up. With this, I immediately felt connected to a very pure heart energy. And over a few days, when I would pick it up, I would feel like, and I would just kind of do it to test it. I put energy in them, put them down, and just I test things and come back to them several times. And I felt that sweet connection to unconditional love, which is what St. Germain brings. So when I put that energy in the pink opal, it pulls things up. When I put that same precise energy in the amethyst, I feel connected to the energy. So I was using the amethyst, so just kind of as a reminder that I have that ability to generate that heart-centered energy. So the amethyst I experience as kind of connecting me to St. Germain without any effort. And that's why I started offering them to you, so you can have that experience too. I mean, if you need to heal some shit, get one of each. But you know, they're difference in the quality because of the material, the mineral material. So this one, the amethyst, when I feel like I have no hope, and I do sometimes, I'm talking about an other life part that comes up. And, you know, I said earlier, this thing has come up since I moved to Oregon. And it's the definition of disempowered is all I can say about it. And it's not just a personal and family thing. It's like a whole collective pain, or pain about what's going on in the collective, plus the person and his family. It's like this whole thing that's like overwhelming for any individual. And when I feel overwhelmed with that, I'll sleep with one of these, or I'll put it under me when I sleep, or you know, have them next to the bedstand so I can hold them for 20 minutes in the middle of the night if I wake up upset. Anyway, connecting to that that feeling of divine love coming directly out of these. Now, even as I say that, I want to make clear that sometimes you're not available for certain frequencies and crystals. And as I thought about doing this video, I got inspired the other day to do it. And so I got the amethyst out, and I was like, you know, tuning into the energy, and I couldn't really feel it. And it's just because I'm just really focused on certain things. And for a couple of days, maybe I feel like I can't relax, or I have too much to do. And I've been sick and have this foot problem, so like I've had to, my to-do list is late. And like yesterday, I went to the post office and took 8 boxes of crystals to ship to people, which usually I do it like once a week, and I was off my feet, so I had to wait during the holidays. And but I just wasn't available for that sweetness. So then today I took the last ones that I have and programmed them, and I was able to do that. But I just want you to be aware that, like, if you know you need a certain crystal, especially these heart-centered crystals, and you get it and you don't feel anything, just decide you're willing to be open. Decide every day, I'm willing, like pick it up and say, yeah, I'm willing to allow this to affect me. Just be aware that we have all these defenses, and also, like I said, just being in a certain mode of being productive or catching up on a to-do list. But willingness to allow the heart opening to occur is important. Willingness. Because our defenses surrounding our identities. If we feel we've hurt somebody or made wrong choices for ourselves, we're going to try not to do it again, so we may hold ourselves in defensive patterns. If somebody else has hurt us or taken advantage of or manipulated us, of course we're going to try to make sure that doesn't happen. We're going to not be open enough to let other people get close to us sometimes, or all the time. So just be aware that if you know you need one of these and you get one and it gets to your house and you don't feel anything, give it time. Give it a few weeks. Every day decide, I'm willing to allow this energy to affect me. I'm willing to open my heart. And the other thing with that is that grounding meditation available through tdjacobs.com. When you go to my site, you'll see a bunch of pictures with different labels. Look for the forest path with the trees and the little path through the trees. And it says grounding meditation. And you can download one version for free, or 3 versions for a couple of bucks. And you can get used to that process. It includes consciously opening the heart, which is your, you know, people say your divine birthright is to be abundant, right? Learning from channeled teachings about abundance and things like this. Well, actually, your divine birthright is actually the opportunity to learn to become powerful through generating loving responses to everything in your life, to become the source of love for yourself. That's actually what your soul has you here to try to learn how to do. Every soul is learning how to become the source of love for the self through this human experience. And every soul knows that human experiences, each and every one of them, involve painful things. So why does pain happen? Let's do this for a minute. Why does pain occur? Why would you make a choice that hurts somebody else? What is the possible point of that? Why would this accident befall you? Why would this manipulation or abuse happen to you? What is the point of pain? think this is good teaching to go with these heart-centered stones. What's the point of pain? To teach you a lesson? Yes, but you have to be extremely clear and responsible about maintaining what that lesson is, maintaining a conception of what that lesson is. The lesson is never that you don't deserve or you should be punished or you did it wrong. The lesson is never that you shouldn't have opened your mouth or made a choice or thought you deserved something good. That's never the lesson. The lesson is always you need to be pushed into pain so you learn how to grow into love. That is the mission of every single human, according to the model of soul that I work with, that Jehudi St Germain teaches. So can you let go of these identities about having been hurt or having hurt yourself or others? Are you willing to let go of those identities and upgrade your perception of why pain occurs? Why you've made choices that hurt others or yourself? Why they've made choices that hurt you? The conspiracy of love is active, and others are, the souls love your soul enough to create hardship and pain for you so you learn how to grow into your power, becoming the source of love for yourself. Same, your soul in the conspiracy of love with theirs, your soul has agreed to inconvenience other people at times and to hurt them and not be there for them, to not be able to measure up or not be able to follow through or to not be willing to help at certain times that you might judge yourself for later. But your soul is having you perform a service so that other person, while human, that other soul, while human, can learn its divine power, becoming the source of love for itself, for him or herself, or itself, whatever. So with these, with these sweet, beautiful crystals, with St. Germain's energy, they give you the option of letting yourself feel, to resolve old emotional issues and to be reconnected with divine love. Like I said, I recommend getting one of each or two of each and holding them in hands. That's my and probably in perpetuity. Behind it is this solid understanding. It's not an assumption or a belief. It is the wisdom that moving energy and emotion is how to advance spiritually, how to create happiness and health, how to raise your consciousness. Meditating on goodness will not heal your heart. You have to work through all the negative emotions. You have to move through them. Let the waves break. Cry. Get angry. Yell into a pillow. Whatever it is. So again, this is the second ending of the video. Take care of yourself and check out these crystals at tdjacobs.com. Goodbye.